Hello class, this is Officer Caitlin here. Today I want to introduce you to my friend Officer Buckle and his dog Gloria. Officer Buckle knew more safety tips than anyone else in Natfield. Every time he thought of a new one, he thumbtacked it to his bulletin board. Safety tip number 77. Never stand on a swivel chair. Officer Buckle shared his safety tips with students at Natfield School. Nobody ever listened. Sometimes they were snoring. Afterward, it was business as usual. Mistress Topple, the principal, took down the welcome banner. Never stand on a swivel chair, said Officer Buckle. But Mrs. Topple didn't hear him. What happened to Mrs. Topple? What do you think happened to her next? Then, one day, Natville's police department bought a police dog named Gloria. When it was time for Officer Buckle to give the safety speech at the school, Gloria went along. "Children, this is Gloria," announced Officer Buckle. "Gloria obeys my command. Gloria, sit!" And Gloria sat. Officer Buckle gave safety tip number 1. Keep your shoelaces tied. The children sat up and stared. Why do you think it's important we keep our shoelaces tied? Officer Buckle checked to see if Gloria was sitting at attention. She was. Safety tip number 2, said Officer Buckle. Always wipe up spills before someone slips and falls. The children's eyes popped. Look how silly Gloria is. Officer Buckle checked on Gloria again. Good dog, he said. Officer Buckle thought of a safety tip he had discovered that morning. Never leave a thumbtack where you might sit on it. The audience roared. What are they laughing at? Do you think they're laughing at the safety tip or something else going on? Yeah, they're probably laughing at Gloria being silly, aren't they? Officer Buckle grinned. He said the rest of the tips with plenty of expression. The children clapped their hands and cheered. Some of them laughed until they cried. Officer Buckle was surprised. He had never noticed how funny safety tips could be. After this safety speech, there wasn't a single accident. Why were the students not listening to Officer Buckle to start with?
Because it was funny.
Thank you, Hadley. I have a first grader in the audience. Why do you think?
Because it was funny.
What makes Officer Buckle and Gloria such a good team? Hadley, what do you think makes them a good team?
Because they're very.
Because Gloria is silly and Officer Buckle is serious, right?
Mm-hmm.
They make a good team because they balance each other out. What are some examples in our story that prove how good of a team they make? What's something we've seen that they make a good team?
Because
The students weren't listening at first, were they?
No,
they weren't listening with just Officer Buckle. But when did they start listening? When who came?
Mr. Buckle.
When Gloria came, because Gloria was silly. So they worked good together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what happens next. The next day, an enormous envelope arrived at the police station. It was stuffed with thank you letters from the students at Natfield School. Every letter had a drawing of Gloria on it. Officer Buckle thought that the drawing showed a lot of imagination. His favorite letter was written on a star-shaped piece of paper. It said, "You and Gloria make a good team. Your friend Claire. P.S. I always wear a crash helmet." Safety tip number 7. Officer Buckle was thumbtacking Claire's letter to his bulletin board when the phone started ringing. Grade school, high school, and daycare centers were calling about the safety speech. "Officer Buckle," they said, "our students want to hear your safety tips, and please bring along that police dog." Officer Buckle told his safety tips to 313 schools. Everywhere he and Gloria went, children sat up and listened. After every speech, Officer Buckle took Gloria out for some ice cream. Officer Buckle loved having a buddy. Then, one day, a television news team videotaped Officer Buckle in the State College auditorium. When he finished safety tip number 99, do not go swimming during electrical storms, the students jumped to their feet and applauded. What is Gloria doing? Look at Gloria, how silly she is.
I know.
Bravo, bravo, they cheered. Officer
Mom,
Buckle
I know.
bowed again and again. Why?
Because she was funny.
She's funny. She is. She's super silly. Why do you think that Gloria and Officer Buckle started to get more popular with the schools? Why do you think so many schools were calling wanting to see the safety tip show?
Because she was funny.
Because they made a good team and Gloria's so silly, right? That night, Officer Buckle watched himself on the 10 o'clock news. The next day, the principal of Nateville School telephoned the police station. Good morning, Officer Buckle. It's time for our safety speech. Officer Buckle frowned. I'm not giving any more speeches. Nobody looks at me anyways. Oh, said Mrs. Topple. Well, how about Gloria? Could she come? Someone else from the police station gave Gloria a ride to the school. Gloria sat on stage looking lonely. Then she fell asleep. So did the audience. After Gloria left, Nateville School had its biggest accident ever. Why is Buckle so sad?
Because she is very nice.
Why is he sad? What did he see on the news that made him sad?
Because she was very funny.
He saw that everyone was watching who? Who was everyone
Gloria.
watching? They were watching just Gloria, and it hurt his feelings, didn't it?
It did.
It did. He thought that Gloria was the only thing that was important. It started with a puddle of banana pudding. Splat, splatter, splish! Everyone smacked into Mrs. Topple, who screamed and let go of her hammer. Shh. The next morning, a pile of letters arrived at the police station. Every letter had a drawing of the accident. Officer Buckle was shocked. At the bottom of the pile was a note written on a paper. Officer Buckle smiled at that note. Gloria missed you yesterday. Your friend Claire. P.S. Don't worry. I was wearing my helmet. Safety tip number 7. How do you think that made Officer Buckle feel?
Sad.
I think it made him feel happy. Why is he happy? Because one
Because.
of his safety tips kept someone safe, so now he feels like he's wanted, doesn't he?
Yep.
Have you ever had a time where you didn't feel very important?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you do?
Make happy.
Gloria gave Officer Buckle a big kiss on the nose. Officer Buckle gave Gloria a nice pat on the back. Then Officer Buckle thought of his best safety tip yet. Safety tip 101. Always stick with your buddy.
Look at yourself.
Yay! So, what did we learn? What do you think is important about their team? What do you think is important about... Here's my class. What do you think is important about Officer Gloria and Buckle? They work good together, don't they?
Yep.
How?
Friends.
One is funny?
Yep.
And one helps? One's helpful and one's funny?
Yep.
Can you tell that... Why is teamwork so important? What from our story shows us that teamwork's important?
Because they're friends.
Did it work well when it was just Buckle? Did it? No? Wow. The audience did what?
Slave.
They fell asleep. What about when it was just Gloria? Did it work well when Gloria went by herself to the school? No, it didn't. Why? What happened that day? They had a big accident, didn't they? Yeah, so they need Officer Buckle too, right? They work well together.
Are you doing this to your teacher? Hello, teacher.
Now that we're done with our reading, I want us to think of our own safety rule. And I want you to explain why this rule is so important.
Bye.